Okay, so I guess we'll start to put our butter churn together. We'll begin with our wheel. And that will be the inside. We're going to use the flat side for the outside. I'm also going to eliminate the double nutting on the outside because I'm going to need the clearance of a single nut. If I put a double, then I've got a clearance problem. So the first thing we do is establish the distance on the axle we want the wheel. So we just want enough that, you know, we have some thread to deal with. So we're going to back that down. Just enough to clear that one hex nut, which should be that. Oh, wait a minute. We wanted to use a washer. Where the heck are my washers? Oh, I've got to remove the washers. So we add our hex nut. And we add our second hex nut, which we're going to back these two off and lock them together. We're going to add a washer. I'm going to try to get that to protect my wheel. I also have some Teflon tape I'm going to put on these threads to help protect the wheel also. Okay, we want a little bit more than that. Plus we want a washer there also. And a nut, which we're going to apply some adhesive to hold that. Okay, there. See, that's flush. And we want our wheel to spin. Okay. So that's basically going to be our butter churn. We're going to put a hole in this piece of wood, and that's going to... Oh, I'm on backwards. And then our washer. And then our hex nut. And we just want enough. So we can back this a little bit. There. Okay, we got to make clearance for a mounting. See how that wobbles? It's because of that big hex nut. So we're going to drill a hole in this in the center, and that will go into that hole and make this flush. So that's our next step. So what we did was scribe an X to find the center of our piece of wood. And we just need to drill a hole there. Not a recommended procedure. You always want to use a vise. Okay, we got somewhat of a hole. We're going to check it. Okay, the nut doesn't really want to go into that, so we're going to have to do a little chopping. In other words, we got to go now we got to go this way. And turn it around. Okay, that fits in there pretty good. We just need it to sit on the wheel flush, which it does. I think you can see that. So we have a mounting. Okay, we want that as centered as best as possible, and we're going to apply some adhesive. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to lock that. Yeah. This nut here we're going to attach with adhesive so it doesn't move. We can't lock that down or the wheel won't turn easily. Okay, so we're going to remove the nut. We're just going to apply, oh wait a minute, I forgot the Teflon tape. Okay, we're going to apply some tape to try to protect our wheel. Okay, so we added our Teflon on the threads so we wouldn't shred our tire, and we're back together. Washer, and the nut's going to be held on with some adhesive. So we're just going to put a tiny little bit on in case I got to take it apart. Right there at the front. Right there. And on goes our nut. That's what we want. Now that adhesive has to dry, so we will continue this in about an hour. So our adhesive has dried fully, so we're attached. Now we have to flatten this area out so we could, this is where we're going to mount our bottle. That's going to get mounted on there. Again with adhesive. And I may drive a screw through, clear through to the other side, I don't know yet. So we'll just apply some adhesive at each corner. And apply this. We could put adhesive in the hole there, but I don't think it's really going to be necessary. It would be better to drive 2 screws through this than to foul that. Okay, so now the adhesive has to dry. We'll just flip it down like that. And we shall return. Okay, let's see where we've gone with this. Now what I've added was a heavy adhesive weld on that side, or a bead, call it a bead, and another one over here. It's still a little soft. That's not completely dry yet. But we're not gonna go with the metal plate. We're gonna eliminate the metal plate. We were gonna put a metal plate on there. We're gonna go with our bottle affixed right to that. What I'm thinking is to use the slip tie, to take the slip tie and get it to appear through there like that. And put another one over here. This is two of them. You put them together. It's two of them. They're put together to make them longer. I may have even add a third one to get around the bottle. Okay, so our wood is on there. You know, last night's adhesive, which is now pretty much fully dried. Still gonna have to dry for a while, but I think I can add the bottle. So we're gonna try that and hope we don't tear this board off in the process. What I did with the bottle was I took, this is alcohol from the Target store, and I heated up the plastic and I shoved it over the bottle, you know, just to protect it. You know, it's a little bit of a shabby job. I had to cut slits all along the side, and I ran it under tap water. I got it started, I got it on about that far, and then I had to force it using hot water. Okay, so we're going to try to get a grip on our bottle. Like that. We'll come from underneath. And no, we have to add a third one. So we're going to add a third tie. There. You just attach it at the very beginning. You don't want to push it too far. And then we do this. Whoop. Okay. Let's go for one more. Up there at the top near the cap. So we actually need 3. Two of them, take it and you just see, and you just get it stuck there at the beginning. Push that through. Oop, forgot to cut that off. You have to remove the little tip. Okay, then we add our third one. And then we slip it in here. when that adhesive dries completely, I can get my pliers out and I can yank these ties even tighter. But if I try it right now, I'm liable to yank that board right off of there. That's got to fully dry. So I think it's going to be tonight, sometime in the evening. I'll go place it in the sunshine. Let the sun hit it. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Okay, so that's really what we're going to try to use to make butter. I can put a crank on it. I can find a location somewhere here. I could drill a hole and put a post, have a post out here, and I can crank it. Whoops. And I could crank it around, but I could just, that's why I eliminated the metal plate. That's why I eliminated the metal plate, because it was going to hang out so far. I would have these sharp edges to contend with. What I have is two boards. I found this down at the dumpster. I chopped it in half. It was like that. I cut it in half. Had to paint it, had to wash it and paint it. It had something on it. What I'm gonna do next is mount this like this on the board, sandwich it with the other board, but I have to take my drill and drill a clearance for that on both sides. I have to drill a clearance for that hex head to fit into. I had a washer left over. I never used the hardware. I had one hex nut left over, and I got this fantastic adhesive. I use adhesive a lot. I would really recommend this if you need a good adhesive. I would really recommend this stuff for a good adhesive.